The hunched figure of the Icarian Harpy waits in the distance, its eyes hidden, but observant. Its body twitches, changes, evolves. Another shriek tears loose from the beast, and the wings upon its back spread wide, a threatening display. Then the harpy's body momentarily unravels into a cluster of tentacles. Blades meant for one of its many hearts slid right through, doing minimal damage. Without losing momentum, the creature merges again. It will evolve past you.
Hello and welcome back to our playthrough of Aeon Trespass Odyssey. I am Emerging Boat. We are on day 12 of cycle 3, about to do our first Icarian Harpy battle of the cycle. Woohoo! I still have not prioritized getting the cycle 3 Primordials painted, so I'm sorry, it's the naked gray color. Maybe a little bit hard to see on some of these terrain tiles, but hopefully does not make it too hard to watch. Fights against the Harpy should be a little bit less swingy than they are against the Hypertime Oracle, at least in the beginning of the fight, because you don't have that AI 0, I don't know why I'm blanking on the name, but the one that allows you to, the one that forces you to draw trauma cards and potentially has somebody start with disemboweled. We do not have to deal with that against the Icarian Harpy. The main mechanic that we will have to deal with against the Harpy, though, is bleeding. And while I'm talking about bleeding, I will actually also just put this sheet here so we can get a look at the Primordial sheet, and I'll put the bleeding card here. Bleeding introduces an effect that's kind of similar to what we saw against the Hypertime Oracle, where we can be removing positive trauma cards from the deck. But with bleeding, at least you have a little bit more control over it, as opposed to it happening at set time intervals. You can try to do something to counteract the removal of those positive traumas by trying to get rid of bleeding. Titans do have a bleeding limit, so if you get too many bleeding tokens on you, then you will die. It's also noteworthy that it's easier to remove bleeding tokens from another Titan than it is to remove them from yourself. Removing them from another Titan, an adjacent Titan, is a free action as opposed to removing them from yourself, which requires you to sacrifice either your movement or combat actions. So when possible, you want to try to help each other out. The way it gets a little more complicated is that you do have to worry about your positioning of, well, if I'm going to try to get adjacent to somebody to remove bleeding from them, is that going to prevent me from being able to attack the Harpy effectively, potentially, removing your combat action or costing your combat action, but you can be a little bit strategic with it, and hopefully you develop those kinds of strategies over time as you face the Harpy. It also means that range and reach weapons can be that much more effective against the Harpy, because range and reach allow you to have more flexibility in your positioning before you attack, and that positioning can help you be able to remove tokens, bleeding tokens from other Titans. The Harpy does have blind spots in the rear spaces. It's a 2-hit value of 8 or higher, infinite movement, 10 health. They have this rapid adaptation trait, which I will cover in 1 second. And then what else? It has regurgitate, which when the regurgitate keyword comes up, we will place an Ambrosia Pool 2x2 terrain tile beneath the Primordial. And what else? Death by Fate is one of our traits that's just active in basically all of our cycle 3 fights. Although I guess backwards momentum is explicitly said to be in all cycle 3 fights, but Death by Fate is listed as a trait, so I think it'll be important for me to remember when I'm facing the Dehaka. The other thing that bleeding impacts is, let's see, is it listed as a trait on here? Yeah, the Predator trait. So the Predator trait says at the start of battle, starting from the highest danger and continuing in descending order, Titans suffer some number of bleeding based off the current level. So right now we have Our Fire Starter is starting off with bleeding 2. Our Earthshaker is starting off with bleeding 1. So we will have to find a way to try to take care of those. We do have our telehealing Argo ability, which can help us. We have some other, what's it called? Gear abilities that will allow us to remove bleeding. And obviously the free actions and all that we talked about earlier. But Predator says that at the end of the Primordial round, Titan with the most bleeding tokens in sight that has not been attacked this round becomes the target of predation. There is no eligible target. Predation doesn't trigger. So if you are not careful about removing your bleeding tokens and you don't really pay that much attention to it, you're effectively getting an extra attack done every round. And it's not, you know, it's a decently brutal attack. 3 dice, 10 or higher, and then each hit deals danger equal to the number of bleeding tokens, and then deals additional bleeding after that. So you are really, really pushed to keep your bleeding under control. Go ahead and put these back. I do need to correct a couple of things on my battle board setup over here because this needs to be pushed up a little bit. You can assign, I always just assign the color time anchors to, like, the rules say that you can assign the time anchors to any Titan. But I always like to keep my blue with blue, red with red, blah, blah, blah. But I think it effectively means that you can kind of put your time anchors for each Titan wherever. Like, I don't think it really matters since you can kind of arbitrarily assign them, but for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to put, like, Warkeeper is green, so I'm going to put his right behind him. I'll put red behind Game Changer here. Blue goes behind, or yellow goes behind Firestarter. There, okay, this is right. Boom. And then I had the giant shell terrain as the terrain that I was supposed to put from my adventure hub. However, the giant shell terrain tile is on the back of our Time Frozen City. And I think because the Time Frozen City gets placed first, I effectively can't place the giant shell, so I'm just gonna not place it. I don't know if there's any specific ruling on that, but, you know, honestly, it kind of helps me because the giant shell would just kind of get in the way anyway. So I'll just leave it out. And then I need to talk about rapid adaptation really quickly. Rapid adaptation is a way for the Primordial to adapt to the attacks that are coming at it. So basically, once you wound the Primordial, I think this happens on wound, right? Yeah, if you wound the Icarian Harpy, after resolving responses, place an adaptation token on the Icarian adaptation bard on a space corresponding to your weapon class. If there are no more adaptation tokens on the outside of the board, then you would move one from another spot on the board to that spot, matching a trait of the weapon you just attacked with. If you try to wound with a weapon that matches a space covered by a generic token on the board, you just cannot deal the wound. And if you are attacking with a weapon that is adjacent to a space blocked by a generic token, you have to add +1 AT. If you are trying to find something that I'm probably going to do wrong in this video, look for me to forget to add the +1 AT when attacking with a weapon that's adjacent to the currently blocked off token or currently blocked off space. Because I'm sure I will forget that. Maybe I'll put an AT token here as a reminder about that. And then in terms of loadouts, I'm not doing anything too crazy here. Since this is the first fight that we're doing against the Harpy, I put away some of our like crazy good Titans that you might not have at this point. So we're not using the Truth Bearer, we're not using the Shadow Dancer. We're going to use some Titans that you're more likely to have at this point. Similar thing with the weapons, although I am using Horizon's Edge, which you have to go into Mnestis Theater to get. And then I am also using the Dahaka Blade, which, yeah, super powerful, but I really wanted something with Deadly. So I'm at least taking one really good weapon into this fight. And I don't mind putting it on the Warkeeper because I don't really think the Warkeeper is that great of a Titan. I never really use them, so if we get a crit miss with him and it kills him, so be it. But I'm going to try something. Nobody asked for this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Since I have this new macro view, what I think I'm going to try to do is, if I remember, before each fight, I'm going to put like each of my Titan loadout sets in that macro view, so you can kind of take a better look at things if you want to. So I'm going to cut over to do that. I'm going to, I think what I'm going to do is put the things in the macro view. So I'll start with go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I will pause for like 5 seconds on each one and then just cut, and it'll be like 20 seconds for you total, but I'll try to keep it to a minimum time. But if you're interested in looking at the cards in more detail, that should give a better view. Let me know in the comments if that's helpful for you. I'll probably be doing it for the next few fights because you're not going to see the comments for this, or you're not going to be able to post comments for this until I'm kind of well into cycle 3. But I'll be doing that for the next, for probably at least the rest of the cycle 3 fights. If you want me to do the same thing with the Titan sheets as well, I can. Those just seem a little bit less important because you're probably a little bit more familiar with the Titan sheets. But hey, I'm open to doing those as well, if that is helpful for you. But yeah, I didn't put a ton of consideration into this. I'm not trying to over plan for this first fight. I want to get a feel for the AI cards and the BP cards again. Yeah, with that, let's go ahead and draw our minor trauma card to determine the primordial facing direction. And then we'll get this fight on the road. We get to choose our direction here. Ooh, okay, well, I'm glad we're getting this minor trauma out of the way for our facing direction, because I did not really bring much to deal with time clocked. I did also change up my Argo abilities a little bit. So I don't have Arrow Barrage. I'm using Force Kratos Reaction, which I haven't used in a while, but we'll see. But which way do we want him to face? I think his AI cards typically target Titans based off of... I think his AI cards target off of least bleeding, because I think his AI cards often deal bleeding. And then maybe it's closest in front, closest in sight after that. I'm not sure, I don't remember. Let's have him face north. That way, I think maybe I'd like him to go after the fire starter. I still have multiple fire starters. Just double checking. I think I've got all my start of battle effects done. I did Predator Bleeding at the start already. So I think we are indeed ready to draw our AI card. Finally. Not 15 minutes into the fight. This is our first fight against the Harpy, so take a little bit extra time. We got Frenzied Slash, which is going to be closest non-bleeding Titan in front. Oh, I'm a dumbass. I just said that the Harpy was going to be going after Titans that did not have bleeding tokens. And I still put him in a way that's going to have him face the Game Changer. All right. And put that there so you can take a read through as I think about this. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. So we know Harpy is going to go after the Game Changer immediately. Then we know that after he goes after the Game Changer, we're going to have to deal with the Predation trait because we still have bleeding tokens on people, or no Titans. And the Fire Starter is going to have the most bleeding tokens, so Harpy will go after Fire Starter after Game Changer. And because of this pushback, I don't think I'm going to be able to... If I don't do anything about this pushback, then Harpy is going to end up centered on this little... these 4 spaces facing this way when he goes to attack the fire starter. I would prefer him to be on these 4 spaces facing this way because it'll make it easier for Earthshaker and Warkeeper to attack, as well as getting Warkeeper in the blind spot for being able to use the Haka Blade. So all that to say what I think I want to do here. at least for this window of opportunity, is just use the advanced reflex from Game Changer to go 1, 2, and while I'm at it, let me refamiliarize myself with all my little bonuses here. Let's see, okay, I did account for that. Sorry, I'm going through all my Titans really quickly. Okay, I'm sure I'm going to forget half of these, but that's life. That's what the comments are for. Okay, now let's see if I played this out in my head correctly to see if it's going to work in the game here. So now we're going to do move and push back 3 and attack. So Harpy will go move, then push back 3. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Then Harpy is going to have 4 hits. We'll have 3 dice to evade. And it's 8 or higher. We have no bonus to precision, but we have 2 free rerolls. Ooh, it's a crit evade and a regular evade. Those there. I'll get 2 free rerolls here. Dang, those were close. Game Changer is going to suffer bleeding 2. We have 3 Titans with bleeding. These counter dice are not really the easiest to see when they're off at an angle like that, just because of the angle of the lens, but that is a 2 and not a 3, so maybe it helps me more than you, but I do like using those more than the generic tokens. Bleeding 2, each hit deals 2 danger and 1 fate. So we're about to take 4 danger and 2 fate. We can try to reduce the danger here with a white armor die. Just making sure I didn't forget anything. Okay. 4 danger reduced to 2 danger, so it's going to be 2 danger, 2 fate. 2 danger and 3 fate total. That puts us, we'll have to draw for a trauma level at 3, which is a minor trauma for us still. These out of the way. Oh, did I have any crit evade effects? No, maybe one of these days I'll do something useful with a crit evade. Exhaust all your exhaustible gear if no gear was exhausted this way. If no gear was exhausted by this card, suffer knockdown. Ooh, and I need... Oh, dang. All right, so let's see. Exhausted. Exhausted. Technically, this should be exhausted, even though I don't use it for that effect. Ugh. Game Changer may be better off just not attacking this round. Okay, so that'll go get discarded. Then we suffer knockdown anyway. I'm not too worried about that because we do have some sources of Inspire. Knockdown, falling for Game Changer. Put you on your side so I don't forget. Clear these off. And that ends that attack. Now we need to trigger Predator. End of Primordial round. Oh, we do have a window of opportunity before this, but I don't think there's anything. Do I, for any of my things that have remove a bleeding token, I don't think I have any things that let me remove bleeding that also, what's it called? Allow me to do it during a window of opportunity. At least not yet. So next, Firestarter will become the target of predation. And he will move and attack. And I think I want to do some other reflexing and stuff during this window of opportunity. So let's have Earthshaker gain a fate to use Pursuer Ultimatum and go 1, 2, 3. And then let's have, I'll save my charges of Pursuer Order until I need them. We will gain a fate with Warkeeper to use Pursuer Imperative. And go 1, 2. Then Harpy will go 1, 2 here. And attack Firestarter with 3 hits. We need a 10 or higher to evade. No opening tokens, so we're not going to get any free rerolls here. That is no evasions. So each hit deals danger equal to the number of bleeding tokens you have. We're about to take 6 danger. I will gain a fate to block one of those with face shield. We're only about to take 4 danger. And then we will have a black and a red armor die to reduce this. We reduce it by 2, so we're only taking 2 danger. It's much better than 6. That will be a minor trauma, correct? Anything else I need to be thinking about here? Oh, before I forget, technically this should have an exhaustible token on it. No, okay, minor trauma time again. Can we get something positive, please? For like a split second, I was like, oh my god, disemboweled. Nope, this is better. Oh, actually, this is nice because we won't take the extra bleeding 1. Although actually I had a way to deal with the bleeding 1 anyway, so not really that big of a deal. Sorry, I'm just checking to see if there's any way I could have reduced pushback from Game Changer, because I noticed that Firestarter has it with Lenothorax or Abyss Thorax. No, I don't think so. Okay. So chain break can gain knockdown standing up, although Firestarter cannot be knocked down. This happened recently before, and I'm not gonna suffer the same mistake again. I forgot Firestarter couldn't get knocked down, although it was just knocked down standing up. So, damn it, sorry. I totally forgot I went back to this view when I was using the other Titan abilities here. There we go. I think maybe what I need is like, ideally I'd love to have a second monitor in like a corner of the table that you can't see, that is like, I just constantly have line of sight to what is being shown, because right now I just, like with the Stream Deck, I have these little buttons at least that, I don't know, maybe I guess I could change the style of the buttons and how they work, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not paying enough attention to them to always see what's happening. Also, like these ones that are, I know you don't really care about this, but I'm showing it anyway. If I go to like some of these regular ones, oh gee, well, that was dumb. Let's do this. If I switch between like these two views, for instance, I don't know, like the ones that are not these colored, like I just make the icons whiter. Anyway, it's a personal problem. I thought I was just going to get better at it naturally, but I still make that mistake sometimes, and I want to stop that. So I need to come up with a better solution. But these will come out. This is going to come out as well because that is done. Put that back on its spot over here. Okay, for our 13th Muse, let's see if we can prime the shot that just puts 5 fire tokens in there, just because I rarely use that one. And I have so much Living Abyss and Skin of Malice that I'm not really using. 5. Ooh, I think that barely does not prime. Yeah, darn. Okay. So no luck there. Then I have to decide who I want going first. And I like where that comes in with these Harpy battles, because the bleeding just adds another dimension of like, okay, I really have to think about my Titan timing. Who do I want going first so I can avoid getting like bleeding buildup? Like, how do I try to optimize this so that ideally we don't have any Titans bleeding going into the next Primordial round? Okay, I'm somewhat thinking ahead about this. We'll see if it's actually enough thinking ahead. But I'm going to start with going with, I wish I had put the Hourglass Necklace on Earthshaker. Because I think Hourglass Necklace ability to stop bleeding buildup combined with Life of Regret ability to discard 1 bleeding token is a nice combination. But I'll have to try to remember that for next time. Let's start with Earthshaker. Start your turn. Put that there. Then for bleeding buildup, we will gain 1 bleeding token, then draw as many cards from your trauma level deck as you have bleeding tokens. Ooh, actually, you know what? Here, I'm going to undo something. I'm going to say Earthshaker did not gain a fate before, did not use Pursuer Ultimatum. This is undoing a little bit. We got some information because we had to resolve a trauma draw with Firestarter, but I don't think this is that big of a deal. Instead of using Pursuer, Ultimatum, and moving 3 spaces for Reflex, we'll have used Pursuer Order, only have moved 2. But then that means that we don't have any fate, we don't have any danger, so during this bleeding build-up, we don't have to draw, I think this is right, we don't have to draw any trauma, or we don't have to draw any cards because we don't technically have a trauma level. I was just looking some things up. I might have some things wrong about bleeding because I think actually that fate wouldn't really matter for the effect of bleeding with drawing your trauma level. Let's see. Gain 1 bleeding token, then draw as many cards from your trauma level deck as you have bleeding tokens. My trauma level deck, I think, is explicitly determined by danger, because the Death by Fate card does talk about the trauma level being affected by danger or fate, but only in the context of trauma draws. So I'm going to assume that for the effects of bleeding, the only thing that we look at for that trauma level is danger, in which case bleeding is not going to remove any, any trauma cards from that deck. Could be wrong. Let me know if that is totally wrong or if that seems to be right. That conceptually makes sense to me. I won't undo my stuff with Pursuer. No, yes I will, because I'd rather have a charge or Pursuer Order. So gain a fight, we'll have used Pursuer Ultimatum, and then we'll move back here. Then we will move 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to use the Life of Regret because it's not really going to do much for me. One thing I have to keep in mind is I do have 2 Titans with swords. The Warkeeper and the Firestarter both have a sword, although Firestarter does at least have the shield as well, so. Yeah, I hope there are no BP responses that give bleeding, but we're going to attack with Firestarter. It's going to give us, I can't forget about the 1 opening we will get for him. We're going to get an opening and a break from Cold Open. Then I'm going to gain 2 fate, so we get 6 dice to attack with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you know what? I will have used Force Kratos' reaction before his turn so that he gets an extra rage. Putting him at 2 rage. Put this over here. Then from being in the blind spot and all bonuses considered, we're going to have +2, +3, +4, +5 precision. So we need 3 or higher to hit. And we're really looking for 4 or more hits here. Wow, that's a lot of misses. All right, this might be dumb, but I'm going to use 3 fate to reroll 3 of them. I'm going to spiral 2. So total, I'm going to gain 1 fate. Do I really want to do this? Yeah, whatever. Okay, sorry. So these were... Okay, so I think I still only got 3 hits. Damn. That was awful. So 3 hits. Dang, I don't get to do the Abyssal Watcher's ability. That was terrible. We're going to have 4 red dice and only 1 break. I might not wound this. And I gained a lot of fate from that. Okay. We have that. Any other things that I'm going to get here? No, I don't think so. All right, so what do we need to hit? 6 AT. We don't have any bonus. power here. So yeah, this is pretty unlikely to wound. That is awful. So we are going to regurgitate and then push back 3. This will go on top here. Push back 3, 1, 2, 3. Means this will get destroyed. Then this will go in the BP discard. I didn't want to use any power rerolls because actually I wouldn't have been able to wound it anyway, even if I rerolled and got the best thing I could. So we still have Inspire. So we're going to use Inspire to stand the Game Changer up. Let's see, knockdown here. That comes out. Let's reposition 1, 2, motivate 1. Then we'll motivate Firestarter 2, 1, 2. It's going to give him another Ambrosia, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. He does have Ambrosia limit 5, or Dustan does. Then we actually need to do our Kratos things. Opening 3, break 2. And that will end Earthshaker's turn. So that next we can go with Warkeeper. I'd really love to be able to get rid of this Faded Nemos for Warkeeper or for Otis 0 that says you have to use your movement to move at least 1 space, because I could really see that hurting me in Harpy fights in the future. Luckily, it shouldn't hurt us now. So we are going to use Stop Bleeding Other to remove 2 bleeding tokens from Earthshaker. Now Earthshaker is no longer bleeding. Then we need to reestablish your time anchor. And then I think we'll just move maybe here. I'm not going to be able to get into the blind spot. I need to try to track how many of his BP cards have pushback in response, because that can really hurt my positioning. But we will attack and commit. And it's going to be, geez, we have deadly here. We have +1, we have +4 total, so we need 4 or higher to hit. The 3 and a 7. I will re-roll the 3. Oh my gosh, these are terrible rolls. It's only 1 hit. Okay, it's because I'm not priming them with my 10s here. So we're going to get a red, a black, another red. You don't have any fun things? No. Draw our card here. Tentacle Appendage. AT of 5. And we are going to be looking at some pushback here if we wound. It's going to make things annoying. I'll have to prioritize attacking versus bleeding, I think. Okay, so we need to get 4 on the dice here. Now we have 2 break. And how many power reroll? We have 1 power reroll if we need it. Okay. Come on, 4. Oh, wow. These 2 both landed in there, but that's a good start. Just need 1 power. All right, that's plenty. That's 2, 4, 5, 6. We got 6, so we're going to suffer knockdown. Knockdown. Falling. And then pushback 3. 1, 2, 3. Does he have anything to... he's got knockback reduction, no pushback reduction, I don't think. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Now we will put this on the sword space. Oh, sorry, by this I mean the rapid adaptation trait. And we will put this in our wound stack. We have our first wound on the Harpy. P2 in here. So our AT values for these BP ones are maybe like probably like a 4 through 6 or like a 5 through 7 or something. Oh gosh, okay. I didn't see what it was. 3, 2, 1. BP1. Got an AI1. Come on. In AI2. 3, 2, 1. AI1. We will get black 2 and closing 2. Black 2. Closing 2. And break 2 and opening 1. Oh, we want to put those there. I always put them like this. The attack one's in front, the power one's in the back. Opening 1 and break 2. Ooh, and at the end of my turn, I am in front and adjacent to the Primordial. Not intentionally, but just happened to be that way, so I get to lose a fate. And his turn is immediately over. I think this is the only way that I'm going to be able to potentially deal another wound while also hopefully having no bleeding, is for me to go next with Firestarter. Oh, sorry, before Firestarter's turn, we do telehealing. So we're going to discard up to 2 bleeding tokens. So that takes bleeding off of Firestarter before his turn. Then we reestablish the time anchor. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. We can move off of that slippery terrain because he has icebreakers. As our free action, we will stop bleeding other and take off the bleeding tokens from Game Changer. And then we will use our combat to unexhaust our things. That ends Firestarter's turn, then we will go with Game Changer. Reestablish your time anchor. Oh, shoot. Oh, never mind. This works. Because I have 6 movement and I have reach 2. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we will attack. You will have +1. I'm sorry, you will have +6 total to his precision. So we need a 2 or higher. 4 and 4. I'll take it. It's good enough. No other tokens. Okay. 4 or higher for our AT on this humanoid limb. And this is Scythe. Actually, where is Scythe at? Is that going to be an other? Yeah, I don't think I see Scythe. Okay, so that's going to be other. So we'll have 2 red, 2 black. We need to get 4 or higher on this. Boom. That's enough. That's going to be 5 total. So we will wound. He's going to push back 3. So there's a lot of pushback on these cards. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Oh, wait. 3. Then that will move this to other, and oh my gosh, if I can get that right. Put this in our wound pile. Now at 2 wounds. Get another BP2 in our BP stack. 3, 2, 1. BP1. Take out an AI1. In AI2. 3, 2, 1. AI1. That is good to only have an AI1. Oh, dang. I actually screwed something up earlier, too. I can't, I'm not going to undo this, but I forgot. I knew I'd forget about it. I had the opening 1 on Earthshaker from his ability that actually I think would have been enough for Warkeeper to have gotten a full hit on the first attack. I mean, we wound it with that anyway, so it's not that big of a deal, but damn. Okay. I knew I would forget about that. All right. So these will come out. Those come out. Oh, that comes out. And we have reposition 2, opening 2. We're going to have opening 3, break 1. 1, opening 1, 2, 3. Can't use Inspire because Stonewall is exhausted. Okay, I think that's everything. That comes out. Actually, we will reposition 2 to get here, so that way if we get another pushback, it's not going to be into the city. And also, this maybe prevents Game Changer from being the target of the next attack. And that will end his turn. We'll refresh everybody. Reset our Argo abilities. And draw a lovely AI card. A nice, refreshing, lacerating swipe. Target is non-bleeding Titan in sight. That will mean that we're going to go to our priority target because they are the tiebreaker. Earthshaker is going to get targeted here. Forgot how much pushback this guy does. Move and pushback 2 and attack. I don't think we need to reflex anybody. Oh gosh, as I just shift the entire board. Go 1, 2, pushback 2. And we'll have 3 hits to evade, 9 or higher. Do we have any bonuses? No, we just have armor. Okay, 9 or higher to evade. 8, 8, and 1. No evasions and no free rerolls. I am not going to bother because there's no... it's just always going to be 4 danger and 1 fate, regardless of the number of hits. So we'll get bleeding 1. Not terrible. Oh, I need a counter die. Bleeding 1. And if the attack hits 4 danger and 1 fate, we will gain the 1 fate regardless. We're going up to 5 fate. And we have a chance to reduce our danger gain. I mean, we're still going to have to draw a major trauma because of the fate, but that'll take us down to just gaining 1 danger. So we will still draw a major trauma. What do we got? Oh, gain a paradox. How many paradox am I at now? 4 paradox. Not great. It feels like a lot for this point of the cycle. All right, that gets discarded. Then, instead of using Pursuer Order to move Earthshaker away, sorry, my dog is barking. I have to keep pausing. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, instead of using Pursuer Order to move Earthshaker 2 spaces away, I am going to use Pursuer Order to move Game Changer 2 spaces this way. How many spaces away is Firestarter? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Assuming there's no pushback at some point, but there's always pushback with this guy, it seems. Ooh, but Rapid Adaptation makes this a little bit more annoying because I can't attack next with Game Changer. It's got to be somebody else. Firestarter would not be able to get in range, and then Even though we have a lot of Inspire, we don't really have a good way to use it right now. Yeah, all right. Nope, this was a dumb idea. I'm going to move you back. I will use Pursuer Order to move Earthshaker away. No, okay. I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, no, you are not going to do that. You are going to move this way. Because I forgot that Warkeeper can actually stand up because of his, what is it called? Pithos Lunathorax. So I could have Warkeeper go first. Then have, hopefully, Game Changer go. Warkeeper would be attacking with a sword. Yeah, okay. Okay. This would put Game Changer in a blind spot and hopefully be able to attack without moving. If the Harpy ends up doing pushback, it screws me over a little bit, but I think this is okay. So we bleed in. All right, so knockdown is what I'm deciding on. This is taking me way too long. For you, probably no time at all that it's passed by. I've been sitting thinking about this for a couple minutes now. So we need knockdown, knockdown, knockdown. Knockdown, falling. Okay. And you go on your side. I really thought I overdid it with how much Inspire I brought. I am glad I brought a lot of Inspire because it is super necessary. And also, Eye of the Watcher is clutch so far. Inspire and Motivate, just absolutely amazing. So then, Lacerating Swipe is done. And we don't have to do Predation because the only person with bleeding has already been attacked this round, so that's going to end the Primordial round. We're now going to go into the Titan round. And let's try to prime that 5 fire shot again. 3. Our terrible rolls continue. All right, now we'll see if I screwed up anything with this thinking because I'm sure I did. Start with Warkeeper. Flip your thing. Where's your time anchor? There it is. Reestablish it. Then we're going to have you spend a fate to stand up, exhausting your Lunathorax. We will use a Night to Remember to unexhaust your Lunathorax. We will use Fate Safe to lose a fate. But we're going to get it back anyway because we're about to commit from Dehaka Blade. Let me gain the rage as well. You now become the priority target. And this is where that Fated Nemos really pisses me off because I would love to stay here and then attack and then be able to unexhaust with my movement, but I freaking can't do that. Damn it. I hate that. It's so restricting. You must always use your movement to move at least one space. Who's going to enforce that? Stupid card. All right. Just debating. Do I want to? I don't know how many. A lot of the cards have had pushback as a response. So I probably do want to move first. I can move off, and then I'll move on to this. That way, at least if I get pushback, he will not run over the Earthshaker and will move closer to the Firestarter. And just kind of be in the center of the board. So I think this is a better idea. Maybe not. Okay, now we will do the attack. We already gained our rage. We've already committed. So we will get these two. We have +1. We have +4 precision total. So we need 4 or higher. Also, you no longer have knockdown. That's 2 9s. Unfortunately, not enough to crit. I've had terrible luck with my rolls. I'm not going to push this any further. It's only a BP1. And I don't really want to gain the fate. Okay. Sharp Talon Arm. Cool looking arm. Instinct, pushback 3 and gain bleeding up to 1. Okay, the more pushback. This is like what? Every... oh, well, this one had signature. Okay. The one in the discard had signature. But this is 3 of the 4 BP ones we've drawn so far have pushback, so there is a ton of pushback. He does not have any pushback reduction. No, okay. So we need 4, we only need 3. It's going to be 3 red, 2 black. We only need 3 on the dice. That is too much. An excessive amount of power. So that will wound. He's going to push back 3, which unfortunately screws over my game changer a little bit. It's not terrible, it's just not ideal. Before I'm at the start of Warkeeper's turn, I wanted to do the stop bleeding other on Earthshaker. That's part of the reason I wanted to go first with him. So forgot to do that. I am removing bleeding from Earthshaker because I could have done that. I'll just keep this off to the side over here. So we need to do pushback 3, gain bleeding up to 1. Bleeding. So I'm just transferring this one from Earthshaker to you, basically. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. To keep all these tiles from moving around. Then we'll take this, put it into our wound stack, and we are at 3 wounds so far. Quite a long... I'm at 51 minutes, and I've only gotten 3 wounds. Let's see if we can pick up the pace a little bit. That is going to put the rapid adaptation on sword. We will get a BP2 in here. 3, 2, 1. Still a BP1. I don't know if I'm happy or sad about that. Take out an AI1, put in an AI2. I guess it means in the next Primordial round, I'm less likely to have a BP or an AI3. 3, 2, 1, AI2. We are going to get black 2, closing 2. Then we will have, what, break 2, opening 1. We can push back 1. I could push back up to 2. Not really enough to do much. Oh, actually, well, it would be because Game Changer has reached 2, so we wouldn't be in the blind spot anymore, but he'd still be able to... Ooh, I'd be sacrificing the breaks. That's probably okay. It's still a BP1. I assume, what have the AT values been so far? 4, 4, 5. And 6. I'll assume it's like a 5 or a 6. I mean, what if it was a 6? I would still have 2 blacks. I don't like not having any break. But, okay, so we're going to get an opening token regardless. I'll do at least 1 pushback. Don't have any motivate. Motivate would be nice from him. Yeah, let's push back 2. Being able to get Game Changers here on Exhausted is super valuable in my opinion. These will come out, that comes out. I think I've got everything done. Yeah, I think I do. So that ends Warkeeper's turn. Need to try to remember to get the bleeding off of him because he has bleeding now. Earthshaker should be able to do that at some point. Can I go with Game Changer next? I think so. I think I just can't. I mean, I could go with anybody right now. If I went with Firestarter, I wouldn't be able to attack with the Black Zyphos. Okay, okay. I'm glad I did this because now I forgot. I really would like to get Inspire from Stonewall and Game Changer. Okay, so let's go with Game Changer next. Reestablish your time anchor. Let's yeah, we need to use your movement first because I want that Inspire. So we're going to use your movement to on exhaust. We will just immediately use a charge of Fate safe. Go down to 2 Fate. Then we will attack and go up to 2 Rage. You're not in the blind spot. We don't have enough danger to meet that cool ability of Horizon's Edge, so we're just going to get 2 dice. We will have +2, +3. We're going to have +6 again, so we need a 2 or higher here. Yeah. It's a 6 and a 3. Just like, am I showing the right screen this time? Then we will get, what, 2 red, 2 black? 2 red, 2 black. Yep, that's all it'll be, no auto tokens. And boom. Oddment loincloth. What the heck is that? Is it like a skull wrapped in something? Weird. 6 AT. Ooh, 6 AT is rough. Gain the muffled condition card. Ooh, I don't like that, especially not having any black. I am gonna, or any break. I'm gonna use Death Follows. Maybe a waste, but I really don't want to miss on this. Yeah, because I don't want to get time clocked. Okay, so I'll have 3 red, 2 black. Let's do this dramatically. Boom. Okay, that's pretty good. 1 power. We need 5 more. 4 more. Okay, still 4 more. That's terrible. We're definitely going to be using a black on that. That's good. Okay, so we're at 4. I guess I'll use black on these 2. I'm guaranteed to get at least 1 here. All right, so black. Nice. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 total. We needed 6. We are good. So we will gain the muffled condition, which not great. I'm just rereading it again. Yeah, okay. I need to get rid of that. I cannot keep getting Fated Nemesises because they really suck. I was so good about not getting them in cycle 1 and most of cycle 2. All right, so he's got muffled. Then this will go out. Go into our wound stack, go up to 4 wounds. Get another BP2 in a pile. 3, 2, 1. BP2 on top. Before I forget, rapid adaptation needs to move over. Other AI1 comes out. AI2 goes in. 3, 2, 1. AI2. There's only AI2s in that deck right now. These come out, that comes out. Clear these. And we will get opening 2, reposition 2, 2. We have elation, so we'll use our 1. Ouch. Use our 1 ambrosia there to get an extra opening, and we will get another. We'll get a break in an opening. And we will use Inspire to stand up the Earthshaker. Where's your knockdown? There we go. And I think Harpy does have zone attacks, so let's reposition out of zone 2 at least. That will end his turn. Put these other tokens away. I wonder, all right, so the BP2s are probably looking at what, like AT value of, the highest we saw on a BP1 is 6. So maybe they're like 6 to 8 range for BP2. Ooh, that is going to be pretty hard to wound with, I think, anybody right now, except just because I don't have any break tokens. I don't have anything with auto break or auto black. Let's go with Earthshaker next. And let's just do it with the main intent of trying to lose Fate. I just think it's way too low of likelihood that I'm going to wound on this. Go with you, reestablish your time anchor here. Then we can just move 1 space and attack. 3 rage. I can't forget about my opening. All right, I'm going to put an opening just here so I don't forget this time. Then I'll gain 1 fate so I can get 4 dice to hit with, and then hopefully be able to spiral 3 of them. So I'll end up hopefully having a net loss of 2 fate. And I think we have enough precision that the only thing we're going to miss on is a 1. Yeah, we have plus 8 total, so the only thing we're going to miss on is a 1. Okay. Boom. That is a 9, a 2. Okay. If that was a crit, I would have been like, are you kidding me? I have to decide on this, but I think this makes it pretty easy. I'm just going to re-roll these 3, go down to 3 fate, and just kind of accept that I will probably not be wounding this. Hopefully the response isn't too bad. Okay, so I still get 3 hits. 4 hits would have gotten me an extra red die because I have 2 ambrosia, but we don't get that. So we're going to have 4 reds total. Draw our BP2. Yeah, 8, we're not wounding that. Even with the extra red die, it'd be pretty unlikely. Knockdown, pull 3. Ooh. The knockdown, or the pull 3 is kind of crappy just because we're going to be pulling over top of the Warkeeper. But... yeah, okay. Firestarter at least has Inspire, but I think we're going to end up in a position where at least one of our Titans is going to be knocked down going into the Primordial round. Okay. All right, we need 8. Yeah, that's not happening. I'm not going to waste rerolls on this. So knockdown, pull 3. Not you. You get knocked down again. And then you turn to face your target, right? And then you move away. You go 1, 2, 3. You would suffer crash. So Warkeeper gains a danger. And is there anything he could do? Oh, actually, in this case, I don't know if he could use rollout. What does the exact text of that ability say? When you are about to suffer knockdown while adjacent to the Primordial, suffer knockback 4 instead. How does that work like during the Primordial movement? It's kind of weird because I guess the point at which you would suffer the knockdown or the crash here is when the Titan or when the Primordial moves onto your space. It's kind of, you're not really adjacent. But I guess it's, if you kind of treat it like VPs, where if you're on the VP, you are considered to be adjacent to the Primordial. I don't know. I guess if I wanted to use rollout here, I would kind of rule that. To me, it kind of thematically makes sense to be able to use it. I don't even know if I want to use it, and I'm just having this debate. I don't know. I think I actually would want to use rollout here, but like, even though I can feel like I can reasonably justify that rules as written, I don't think rollout works. Rules as intended, it feels like it should work, but I couldn't really find a lot of justification for it on Discord. I don't know. So I'm going to say I can't use it. I'll play it on the more negative side, but it's unfortunate because I feel like I never use rollout. I feel like this would be a good use for it, but all right, so we gained our danger. We're suffering crash. Get our knockdown card. Give that to Warkeeper. He's knocked down, and then he's going to end up getting displaced. So I can choose which way he gets displaced. Put him there. That way, fire starter. Ooh, fire starter. Oh, actually, nope. I see what I should do. All right, we're just going to, so this view so we can see everybody. Undo the danger. You are not going to get knocked down, Warkeeper, because let's put you back 1, 2. You were here. You were here. You were here. So instead of Warkeeper using rollout, we can have Earthshaker use rollout. Gain a fate. And get knocked back 4, 1, 2, 3. It'd have to be, I guess, this way. Then pull 4 would be 1, 2, or no, pull 3. Pull 3 would be there. Now you are not knocked down either. Hey, I actually got a use for rollout. Nice. That's fun. This will also mean I can still use my motivates. All right, I think this was legit. I think what I did was legal. Let me know if I did something wrong while I was undoing stuff. All right, so that goes into our BP discard pile. Then we'll go into our second ability window. Go back to our Earthshaker screen here. We are going to get opening 3 from our Abyssal Watchers. Then we will get, what else are we going to get here? Can do 3 break. Let's do that. We have a BP2 on top. Okay. Oh, and then, no, opening 1. Haha! I almost forgot. Because I almost just got rid of it, thinking, why is that there? And then we have motivate 2 and motivate 1. Let me motivate 1 on the Warkeeper just to get him not adjacent to the Harpy, and then we'll go motivate 1, 2 with the fire starter and go there. That'll end his turn. And lastly, we will go with fire starter. Stand up so I can reestablish this time anchor. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 so we can get adjacent to the Warkeeper. Use stop bleeding other to get rid of bleeding on the Warkeeper. Used forced Kratos reaction to get a rage. And we will attack with Black Zyphos, gaining another rage. Going up to 2 rage. We have 1, we have +2, we're in the blind spot, so +3, 4 opening tokens, so that's +7. We just need to not roll a 1. Okay, 5. Cool beans. It's only going to be 4 reds. Should I have attacked with the face shield? No, because the face shield I would have had to deal with a +1 to AT because of rapid adaptation. Excuse me. All right, we have +1 power here. BP2. All right, not bad. That's a 6. So we need to get 5 on the dice. And we're about to take the signature. If we wound, don't jinx it. All right, let's go dramatic. 1, a 2, and 3. That's cocked. I would really like that roll though. Okay. 4, 5. Oh, that's enough. This is just icing on the cake. 6. All right. We got 7 total. The beat 6, we're going to gain the priority target. Have I been moving in that around correctly? I think so. And then perform signature against the attacker. So let's just queue this up. Then this will get put into our wound stack, and we just wound it with the sword, so that goes there. That goes into our wound stack. We get 5 wounds. Get a BP 3. 3, 2, 1. BP 2 on top. Take out an AI 2 and an AI 3. 3, 2, 1. AI 2. These come out. That's going to get queued up. These come out, and we get black 1 opening 2. Black 1 opening 2. And then another opening and 2 fire. Nobody's knocked down, so we don't need to worry about inspire. Darn, I'm going to get bleeding from the signature, but I don't think there's anything I can do about that. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Okay, I think that's all the tokens that I get. So now we do signature against Firestarter, move and push back 2 and attack. We'll move. I don't think I'm going to have to do pushback because I can reduce pushback completely. Yeah, I have 1 pushback reduction from the Thorax, 1 pushback reduction from Big Boy Firestarter. We're going to regurgitate. We can't regurgitate because those, what are they? The glacier tiles are slippery. Slippery. And, oh, I'm sorry, indestructible is the keyword that I care about there. That's what I meant to say. 3 dice, 10 or higher to evade. Boom, okay. 2, 3, 5. That adds up to a 10. So we are not going. I mean, we can reroll all 3 of them because we have the face shield. Nope, nothing there. Bleeding 1. Bleeding 1. Nope, not 5. Bleeding 1. And each hit deals 2 danger. That's about to be 6 danger. Do I want to use the face shield now? Nah, I think I'll wait, assuming I get hit by the attack next. So 3 hits will put me at 6 danger. I can reduce it by a red and a black. That is going to reduce it by 1, so I'm going to go to 7 danger. Now I can ignore the exhaust cost on... Oh, actually, nope, that's not going to last long because I'm about to lose a danger probably. Unless I die. So 7 danger puts me at a major trauma. That we get... No! Come on! God damn it! All right, sealed. Where are you at? Muffled. Side of muffled is sealed. Not great. We survived that, so now we go to 6 danger. And after attack, knockback 3. Can I just reduce that down to 0? I can reduce 2 of it for free, so I can just suffer knockback 1. So I don't really want to spend the icebreakers just for an extra knockback reduction. All right, and then that ends the signature. Ugh. That was fine other than getting sealed. I hate that I have sealed and muffled. I need to not gain more Fated Nemesis. It's important for me to get rid of these. But that is going to basically end our Titan round there. Let me get these back, and then I am going to actually go take a break and go to the gym or something, because This battle's actually been taking me longer than I would care to admit. Not like super long, but definitely longer than the hour and 15 that I've spent on this so far. Just slow today. So let me make sure that I have everything cleared, and the only thing I need to do is just draw the AI card when I'm back. Oh no, I totally screwed up. I cheated because I didn't follow rapid adaptation. Okay. I can't really undo that. Yeah, because I should not have been able to wound with the black Zyphos. This is the one. What I would have done if I had thought of rapid adaptation, I would have had Firestarter go first, I think, to get their turn out of the way. Because like I know I could have attacked with the face shield just now, but I wouldn't have wanted to do that. For argument's sake, if we attacked with the face shield, would we have wounded? Maybe I just say I attacked with the face shield and we wounded, just for the sake of something that seems kind of right. That would have been 5. And we could have gotten a power reroll. What would be better to reroll here? I think actually the red gives me a 50% chance. Okay, so I would have... All right, so let's do this. Let's say I wound it with the face shield instead. Which would mean I have fewer tokens in the pool here. Instead of a black and 2 opening, I think I just have a break. Okay. Then that means now this would be on shield. Darn, okay. Well, I'm glad I caught that. I just wasn't thinking about the whole not wounding, not moving rapid adaptation. So if you left that comment before finishing the video, I beat you to it. But I think that's the only thing that I've caught myself breaking so far. All right, dang. I'm used to having the rapid adaptation directly in front of me, but I think in this case it's nice to have it over on the side over here. I'll put these away. Yeah, I just need to maybe when I take longer, because I feel like when I'm recording myself, I'm taking longer to do the fights because I think I'm overthinking things, and then maybe that's what's causing me to forget rules. I don't know. Maybe it's just me making an excuse. But I'll be back. I'm gonna go do things that aren't this to give myself a little bit of a break, go to the gym, get some like actual movement in for the day. So I will see you in your time in a few seconds. I am back and ready to get hit by this AI. We go and draw Manic Gutting. Yeah, gutting, not cutting. Manic Gutting. Target is Titan and Blind Spot. There is none. Target is closest non-bleeding Titan in front. I think that's going to be our War Keeper. Darn, which means we are going to have to trigger Predator. Because Firestarter is still bleeding. Okay. Manic Gutting. Move and push back 2 and attack. I don't know if... I'm not sure if it's going to matter which way I end up pushing him, because either way he's going to end up facing north at the end of this round because of Predator. So let's maybe separate them a little bit. So Harpy will go move, and then... Oh, actually, yeah, right. I was thinking you're just going to push back immediately. So push back 2. I want him to go this way. So that way Firestarter won't suffer unavoidable knockback. We get 4 hits that we have to try to evade, and we need an 8 or higher, actually 7 or higher, because we have +1 evasion, and we'll have 3 free rerolls. That is 2 7s, a 6, and a 3. Take those 2 evasions, and we will reroll both of these. I do have a shield to block with, too. Ooh, all right. So that's 3 evasions total. Then we will block with our shield. Boom. Gain a fate for that block. Yeah, because he does not have muffled. I need to remember that my Game Changer and Firestarter both have conditions which prevent them from voluntarily gaining fate. I don't think I broke that. Yeah, no, because they got it at the end of their turns. I do need to reduce the Firestarter's fate by 1 because I don't think I did that after he wounded. Actually, I'm not sure if I did or didn't. So I'll leave it as is. I think I could, but okay, we'll go back here. But there's no after attack effects, so we don't have to worry about anything. I need to fix my dice camera just a tiny bit. So that will now come out, go into the discard. Then we will trigger predation. Firestarter will be targeted. And nope, not that card. Get attacked by Predator. The Harpy will go here. And 3 dice. 10 or higher to evade. Okay, no evades. I have 1 reroll. And I can't gain fate. Alright, so let's just reroll this one. 2. That's going to be 3 hits. I can't block. So I'm going to gain, each hit deals danger equals to the number of your bleeding tokens. I'm going to gain 3 danger. I have a couple armor dice here. Reduce that by 1. We take 2 danger. Brings us up to 8 danger total. Should be a grave trauma. Okay. No, disemboweled, and we have sealed. Shit. Crap. We do have second chance from our Abyss Thorax, and it does not cost any fate. Okay. So I'll have to discard the Abyss Thorax. And take this, discard it, and draw the next grave trauma. And we got break the wheel. Stand up, roll a d10. Okay, I'm not knocked down. Roll a d10, adding plus x, where x is the number of your paradox. I have 4 paradox right now, right? Yeah. Okay, and there's no, I'm not going to die if I don't get this, so nice. So on a 6 or higher, I awaken. Boom. 4. Darn, no awakening for me. That's okay, we'll pretend like that's a good thing. At least the adversary does not get any closer. Okay. The bleeding 1, so we go to bleeding 2, and that is the end of that. There was an ant crawling on my harpy that I had to kill. Gross. Let's try to prime this shot from our 13th Muse. That gives us 5 fire tokens. 6! Finally, we prime a shot from our cannon here. We're just going to fire it immediately. Go in and lose 1. Do I want to lose my Angry Ocean Skin? No, I'll lose a Living Abyss. Okay. It's going to give us 5 fire tokens. 5 more fire tokens. It's 2. That's... come on. 4... 5. Oh, I need to reduce Firestarter's danger by 1 from surviving that trauma. I'll go with Firestarter here. I guess before Firestarter's turn, I will use, what's it called? The telehealing to remove 2 bleeding, so you are no longer bleeding. And we'll go to you, move this over at the beginning of your turn. What we have to draw grave trauma, correct? You may draw and resolve a grave trauma. If you do, discard this condition card and lose 2 fate. Okay, let's do that. Draw Godly Resolve. You may discard all condition cards, condition tokens, and ambrosia tokens, or lose 3 fate. Well, unfortunately, that doesn't really... Well, I mean, it's not negative. It's not another disemboweled, so that is fortunate. But I don't think I get to do anything from this. Because we're about to lose sealed anyway, and we're about to lose our fate, so I guess I just won't do anything from that card. And then we will lose 2 fate and get rid of sealed. That's fantastic. Love getting rid of sealed. Didn't kill us like it did last time, and result in a Fated Nemos. And I want to keep my Ambrosia for Black Zyphos so we get that extra red die. I'd love to have an extra, some extra opening here, but we don't really have that. We're to 3 rage as we attack. We're only going to have +3 total, so we'll need a 5 or higher on this. 4. Okay, I can gain fate now. I can reroll this. 5. Yes. Oh my gosh. I was like, please do not full miss. Please, for the love of God, do not full miss. All right, we got just barely what we needed. Ooh. All right. Now we're gonna get 3 red. A Black Zyphos, a 4th red, and we have a bonus power. I think that's all I'm gonna get. Draw that. Vestigial Wing. AT of 7. Harpy moves to the center of the board. Okay, the only person that's real. Oh, and turns to face the most Titans. Okay. Not terrible. Maybe we'll need Firestarter to reflex. You won't be able to. Maybe we're okay with Firestarter suffering that unavoidable knockback. He still has his movement, so. Well, we have to wound to get this to happen anyway. So it's a 7 on there. Excuse me. We have a bonus power, so we need 6 on our dice, and we're going to have power reroll 3, 4 possibly if we need it. 1. Nope. 2. That's great. 3. Hell yeah. 4. Nope, that's cocked. Okay, I think that's enough. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm not even going to bother re-rolling because this will allow us to carry over our maximum amount of fire tokens. Yeah, we're going to get to carry over all but 1 fire. So the Harpy moves to the center of the board and turns to face the most Titans. Do I want to use a charge of Pursuer Order? No, that's not worth it. So you are going to suffer crash, suffer 1 danger, and get knocked back. Unavoidable knockback of 5, which we can't reduce. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom, boom. Actually, maybe this is going to be really dumb, but I could suffer the unavoidable knockback east. Get knocked back into this and suffer an extra danger, an extra ambrosia token. I have ambrosia limit 5. But this would mean that I could have the Harpy facing east instead of south. and make it easier for Game Changer. Actually, am I going to be able to get... I could get Game Changer in the blind spot. Yeah, if you're facing east, that's totally doable. Oh, I needed to put your... there we go. Time anchor. Yeah, let's do it. All right, so we go from 7 danger to 9. We get a 4th Ambrosia token. Now that response is resolved. Go in our wound stack. We'll go up to 6 wounds. Get a BP3. 3, 2, 1. BP3. Oh, also I need to move rapid adaptation to sword. Move AI 2, put in AI 3. 3, 2, 1. AI 2. These come out, and we will get black 1, opening 2. Black 1, opening 2. What else? What else? Another 2 opening and 2 fire. 1, 2. Boom. Boom. That is a nice looking Kratos pool. Inspire 1, nobody's knocked down. Yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna do. Let's actually move you here, because I can do it with reposition. I don't really have a use for my movement right now. It's kind of a waste, but I'm not going to go anywhere crazy, so I'm just going to end my turn. Oh, you are done. Warkeeper would give me the best chance to wound with a Haka-Blade, but I'm actually going to pay attention to rapid adaptation this time and realize I can't attack with a sword. So we're going to use Game Changer instead. Reestablish your time anchor. Go what? Let's see. We could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's not go on the Ambrosia pool. So let's just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh wait, sorry. At the start of your turn, we need to try to get rid of muffled. So we need to draw a major trauma, right? Yes. Okay. Major trauma. Morai Verdict. Gain 2 fate. That's not the worst, because we're going to lose a fate from muffled anyway. So net we gain 1 fate. Not bad. Now we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then attack, gain a rage. Also get rid of muffled. Any bonuses apply here? Yeah, my precision that that's like the only one that I consistently remember is the bonus precision from him being junctioned with our named Game Changer. But we're going to have enough precision bonus that the only thing we need to not roll is a 1. And we are in a blind spot, so it's deadly now. We get 2 white dice. And we need, yeah, just not a 1. Come on, crit. Seriously? A 1 and a 2? Are you serious? Okay, well, obviously I'm rerolling that 1. Oh, it is going to be an adversary activation as well. So any other crit miss effects here? Putting a little die over there to remember. Crit miss. No, just the adversary activation. Okay. We have 1 hit. If I didn't roll a crit miss on that, I probably would be willing to reroll both of them and just try to get a crit here, but I need both dice to hit. 6. All right, I'll take it. we will get two red, 2 black, correct? Yes. Nothing else. We don't have Death Follows anymore. Draw our BP3. Botero Helix. Gain bleeding up to 3. Harpy moves to the center of the board and turns to face the most Titans. Oh, okay, that could work out. Because I could have him face any direction. I need to get 7 on the dice though. How many power rerolls do I have? I could have up to 2, but using 1 is okay. Using 2 would be not good. For my Kratos tokens, that is. Oh, and I have a black token. Okay. Let's go. Let's just do all these at once. Okay, this is definitely staying. Then we'll do black. Power reroll. Do I want to reroll 2, both red dice? I think so, because it's worth risking the bad Kratos pool after this. All right, one at a time. This is black. Nice. All right, that is, we're at 6. We just need 1 more power. All right, that's it. That's all we needed. Boom. Okay. That is 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 power total. We wound, gain bleeding up to 3. You don't get a Fated Nemesis for having bleeding at the end of the fight, do you? No. Oh my gosh, that would be terrible. Okay, that goes over there. Get 2 bleeding. Then Harpy's already at the center of the board. I think I can turn him to face any direction at this point. Most Titans is equal Titans. Equal Titan. So yeah, let's just have him face Game Changer so that way Warkeeper can come up from behind and attack. Then that's resolved. So that will go in the bottom of our deck. We'll get a generic double wound. 8 wounds total. We will remove the lowest BP. Put in a BP3. What do we have in our stack? 2 3s and a 2. 3, 2, 1. Oh gosh. 3, 2, 1, 3. Okay. This goes in the bottom. Cool. Then take out a 1. Put in a 3. 3, 2, 1. 1. Hopefully we're not even around to see that. Oh, and I need to move Rapid Adaptation to Other. Go back here. So we used just 1 fire token. That comes out, that comes out. Let me burn another fire. So we're keeping 6 fire, sorry. These come out. Comes out. All right. And then what do we get? 2 opening from Horizon's Edge. Then we used power rerolls there, so we're just going to get an extra opening. And that's it. We have Inspire, but nobody's knocked down. Nothing else fun. We have Reposition. I don't care about repositioning because hopefully Warkeeper can end this. Your turn is done. Oh, bleeding up to 3, not 2. Go to Warkeeper, flip that, put that there. You're going to do a move into the blind spot. You will attack. We also have to commit. So we go up to 4 and 5 Rage and Fate respectively. We flip Dialga Blade to its other side. Dialga Blade does not need to be any more powerful, but it'd be fun if like you lost commit on the backside of it. Or maybe even lost this little condition here for the, if you're at 7 or higher rage, immediately gain 3 rage. I think it'd be fun to just be like, there's a small chance if you can stay in the blind spot for the rest of the fight, if you're high rage, that maybe you could live. All right, but we are gonna have +5 total because we're in the blind spot, so we get to re-roll get to roll these. Hopefully we don't have to re-roll. But we need 3 or higher, and I'm gonna crit. I'm gonna do it. We're gonna crit right here. Come on, baby. That's a crit miss is what that is. That means Warkeeper is gonna die. Come on, crit. 4. Okay, that's a hit. I'm obviously gonna re-roll the crit miss. Let me put a condition token on. Actually, yeah, we'll do condition token because that's generic. We'll put that on Otis because Warkeeper is about to die. Is that an adversary activation too? No, it's not. Okay, so that hits. Did I give my fate already? I did. Okay, come on, crit. Nah, dang. All right, no crits. No crits this fight. But we will get 2 hits on our BP3. Double check. Is there anything I'm missing? I could do Heartseeker. I don't know that I've technically... I don't think I've had to enable Quantum Eye yet on anything. I haven't read that rule in this cycle. Yeah, so I think for now I could just do... Let's see if we can get a card with a lower AT. Oh, okay. Well, it's a BP2 and a BP3. Oh, wait. With Heartseeker 2, do I get to draw the card first? I always forget. No. You don't get to draw it first. So we get to look at both of them. Boom. The BP3 does have the Quantum Eye, but again, I don't think I've had to read that rule yet in the cycle. If I did, I'd go up 3 fate and I have to draw a Moiros card. But if I had Quantum Eye enabled right now, I wouldn't have done this anyway. But I'm going to be drawing the BP3 because I want to try to kill him. Shuffle these 3, 2, 1. Get BP3 on top. Hopefully it doesn't matter. So we have an 8 there. We're going to have a power, so we need 7 on the dice. We're going to have, what, 2 black and 4 red. 2, 3, 4. All right, we should be able to wound this. We'll have some power reroll if we need it. Okay. 7 on the dice. We're gonna go dramatic. Wow, terrible. Boom. Okay. Boom. That's better. Okay. Terrible. I mean, that's not cocked anymore, so... All right, let's roll these both at the same time. That's... Just on these, that is 3, 4, 5... Oh, okay, I think that's enough already. 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, yep, that is enough. We have a bonus power from Dahaka Blade. We wound, and we kill him. That would have been the crit effect too, although it would be nice to come out with a core. But we can't get everything that we want. I guess we'll just put BP3. Let's just put 2 BP3s in the stack here for my resources, and I will do those after the fight. Oh, well, actually, before I forget, before we go into the debrief, let me kill off Warkeeper because he dies from Dahaka Blade. Or adventure. Yeah, we don't have any Argo Fate to lose. Then let's go to Titans. Don't really mind losing Warkeeper that much. Did I not have a Warkeeper? What? Okay, well, for this to have made sense, we'll just say that in the in yesterday's timeline day, we will have spent a, what's it called? A core from Cyclonus to have created a Warkeeper. Titans, we would have had to convert a Dreamwalker. No, first change this to Warkeeper, and then you will die this fight. We will get a Pygmalion Stone Mark. And now we're good. Whoops. Didn't realize I didn't have a Warkeeper. But let's see. Debrief time goes up to 0. So I totally forgot how much knockdown the Harpy does, and just kind of lucked into the fact that I brought a bunch of Inspire, but I will try to be bringing Inspire more often against the Harpy. On the other end of it, I thought the Harpy did more like Ambrosia-based attacks, but he didn't do, like, I didn't get any Ambrosia from this fight other than like the Ambrosia terrain tiles. And the Glacier, or Iceberg rather. So I don't know if I just lucked out there, or if I just happened to not draw the attacks that deal Ambrosia. Because if I don't have to bring that Ambrosia containment Argo ability, then that frees up an AA slot, which would be great. The Harpy actually also does do more Fate damage than I remember too. I thought he generally does more danger, but he still does Fate as well. So I do have to be, what's it called? Bringing the Fate Converter Argo ability would be more effective against Harpy than I would have thought from my memory. So maybe I swap out Ambrosia Containment for Fate Converter. With both the Harpy and the Oracle, the AT value jump seems to be mostly in like BP1 to BP2. Doesn't feel like there's a significant difference between BP2 and 3. Maybe BP3s have a slightly higher average, but like BP2s we saw going up to AT value of 8. BP3s are the same thing. So we've had other Primordials who kind of have a similar deal like that. Like I think the Chimera from Cycle 2 is somewhat similar in that the BP3s and BP2s are somewhere in they're fairly close in AT value, and the jump is in the BP1 to BP2, but other times, like with the Burden, for example, I mean, or I guess really all the adversaries, and the Nietzschean especially, you have like the jump from BP2 to BP3. There's still a jump from 1 to 2, but the bigger jump is 2 to 3. But it is tough to wound. Like, I mean, for those 2s and 3s, I was obviously prioritizing like our 2 weapons that you don't really get from the start of the cycle. So yeah, if we were using just those weapons that you get at the start of the cycle, it's very, like, there's a much higher likelihood the fight would still be going on. We might still be going through another Primordial round. I mean, maybe the net result ends up being the same, that we just lose 1 Titan, but instead of losing it to dying from the Dehaka Blade, we maybe would have just lost somebody from the Primordial attacks. We kept the bleeding under control pretty well, so I'm happy with that. The telehealing, like this is one of the times where being able to use the Argo abilities before a Titan goes is like, that is huge, because we did that I think both times with or maybe just one time with telehealing. Maybe in the future I want to consider with the Harpy, I maybe only attack with, I assume I only attack with 3 out of 4 Titans, so that way we can avoid situations where we had in the last Titan round where Firestarter went last, got a wound response that was get bleeding, and then could not get rid of that bleeding. So we ended up having to trigger Predator. So if I'm willing to sacrifice a Titan attack every round, I'm kind of like able to have much more control over if we have to deal with predation or not. That might be worth it. Eye of the Watcher is huge. So glad we got that from Oracle early on. I remember the first time, like when I got that in my first playthrough, I really undervalued the motivate, especially like having multiple separate sources of motivate is a huge deal. Very helpful. But okay, I'm gonna call the video there. I'll probably start another adventure video soon. I actually did this battle over 2 days because when I took a break, I just didn't even end up coming back to it yesterday. So I am on a new day today, just finishing out the fight. I'll probably do some adventure. I guess the adventure stuff I'm not going to do on video. I'll probably just go until we have to fight the Dehaka, which will be a little bit sooner now because I'm going to have to be moving towards the Dehaka. Yeah, right, because the Dehaka is going to move one closer. I still have to move south onto a city top. Anyway, whatever, that's adventure stuff, not battle stuff. The next video will 99% chance be a fight against the Dehaka. So I hope you will join me in that to watch me get demolished, because I don't have Hermes movement, and Hermes movement is so helpful against the Dehaka. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Take care.